Hello, YouTube. My name is Chris Hull. This is the Negative Thought Survivor podcast. My name is Chris Hull. I'm your host, and my goal here is just to tell my story about the events that have happened to me in the last year and a half to 2 years of my life. I've had some very dramatic events that have happened to me, and so yeah, here's my story. I'm going to recap episode one. So in episode one, I talked about how on September 2nd, I had a massive, huge seizure that rendered the whole right side of my body completely paralyzed. And I had no idea what was going on. My physical condition had been deteriorating through June, July. By August, I could barely walk. My right foot was dragging on the ground. I could not drive my truck because I could not articulate my right ankle properly. And so, yeah, September 2nd, I'm sitting in my back room, hanging out with my dog. I couldn't work because I couldn't drive and I couldn't walk. I had a good friend come and drive me to the grocery store to get some groceries and to buy some dog food. And later on that day, I had a huge seizure. And I after my body got done convulsing, I was on the ground, laying there, and the whole right side of my body would not work. I could still feel everything, but yeah, I couldn't make my leg move right. I couldn't make my leg move at all, and my right arm was completely useless. So I was able to find my phone, dial 911, call the ambulance, crawl to my front door, unlock the front door, let the paramedics come and take me to Duke Regional Hospital here in Durham. And yeah, Duke Regional Hospital, all nurses, doctors, occupational therapists, physical therapists. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for what you've done for me. I really, truly appreciate you all. So got to the ER. They did a bunch of scans and a bunch of tests, and they told me I had an organic brain mass in my left frontal lobe, and I laughed. I was like, "What?" She said, "You have a brain tumor." I have a brain tumor? What? Are you kidding me? And so I laughed at her. And then seven days later, they did brain surgery, took that tumor out. There's my scar. There's my lopsided head. And 17 days after brain surgery, I walked out of the hospital. And I've got footage of that event. And I knew I was going to walk out of the hospital. That video is on my Instagram. I think it's the second video from the bottom. But yeah, I told my mom. My mom drove from Indiana to be with me here in North Carolina to help take care of me and my dog during this episode of my life. And she was sitting next to me while I was in the bed. I think I was only walking on a walker. I don't even think I was walking on a cane at this point. But I was noticing very minute increases in ability every day, and I knew for some reason, I don't know why. That's just how my mind works. You know, I have a very strong will, or at least I think I do. But I looked at my mom and I told her, I am going to walk out of this hospital. And she just looked at me. I don't think she believed me. But 17 days after brain surgery, I walked TF out of that hospital. And I'm skateboarding again. I've learned how to ollie again. I can do 50-50 grinds on curbs. And the first time I did an ollie, I cried for 15 minutes. The first time I did a 50-50 grind on a curb, I cried for 15 minutes. Skateboarding just means so much to me. So what I want to talk about today is the difference between knowing and believing. Because about 2 weeks ago, I was at the skate park, and one of the homies there, his name's Amir, he was trying to learn how to do a board slide. One of the other homies there was doing a board slide, and I said, I mean, I've been doing board slides. I'm 51. I've been doing board slides on little, like, single-sided little sidewalk curbs for 36 years, since I was 15. That's one of the first tricks I learned how to do, is just to ollie up on top of like a railroad tie and board slide. It's one of my favorite tricks to do because they're so fun. And you feel weightless when you come off the end of one of those things, and it just feels so good. And it's really important to feel good. That's the more you feel good, the more good you feel. And think about that for a minute. But yeah, I've been doing board slides forever. And so that repetitious action, anything you do repetitiously, becomes embedded in your subconscious mind. So, do you think you're ever going to forget how to tie your shoes? Probably not. So, I'm going to back up a little bit, and I want to tell you about the difference between knowing and believing. So, the dictionary says to know something is to perceive it directly, to have direct cognition of it. And then belief is something that is accepted or considered true. So there's a difference between believing and knowing. Some people believe in Santa Claus. Usually little children believe in Santa Claus. And presents show up under your tree. As adults, we know there's no Santa Claus. We don't believe in Santa Claus, and yet there's still presents under your tree. And then as adults, we know about the law of gravity. If you're hiking on a cliff or hiking on a trail and there's a cliff right there, you know to be very careful. You know that the law of gravity can pull you down that hill and you can get hurt if you are not very careful. Babies do not know about the law of gravity. That's why you hear stories about babies falling out of windows and falling off balconies and getting hurt. The law of gravity does not suspend itself because a baby doesn't know about that law. No, the law of gravity is there. You either know it and you are aware of it and you take precautions, or you don't know about it and you suffer the consequences. So that's the difference between knowing and believing. So when Amir was trying to learn how to do a board slide, and this is what I said. I've been doing these things for 35 years, 36 years. So that much repetition of action has been implanted in my subconscious mind, the board slide. So I did not believe that I could do it. So I actually said out loud, if I even tried to do a board slide, I would die. I said it. I said, man, if I even try that, I'll die. But they were all trying it. Amir was trying it. This other homie there, he was doing some really sweet looking board slides, coming off real smooth and stuff. And so I just went on there and I jumped on it. I didn't die. I went and jumped on it again. I actually slid a little bit. I was like, holy shit, I might be able to do this thing. Jumped on a third time, slid, jumped off. The fourth time I did it, came off perfect. And then the video that I put, I think it's the last video on my Instagram account of me doing a board slide, was like the best one. I just pumped across the park, popped on the curb like I always did, slid halfway across the curb, came right off, looked easy peasy breezy. But I did not believe that I could do a board slide. I actually said out loud I would die. But guess what? I didn't die. I did a perfect board slide. So when your subconscious mind knows a thing, then that's all you have to know. And it is only through that repetition, that 35, 36 years of repetitiously doing something over and over and over again, implants that idea in your mind, that knowing in your mind. So what do you want to know? Do you want to know health? Do you want to know health? Do you want to know a new trick at skateboarding? What do you want to know? You can make yourself know. You can go beyond belief into knowing through repetition, any repetition. You just tell yourself, that you feel good. You can wake up and be thankful. Your mind is so powerful. I mean, wherever you're at right now, if you're in front of your phone, if you're in front of your computer, if you're not in your kitchen, you know what your fridge looks like. You can see it in your mind. You can see the contents of your cabinet. If you have a car and your car is outside and you're inside, you can see your car in your mind. You can hear a song in your mind, even though the song's not playing. I have been listening to PJ Harvey the last couple of days. I can hear her song, Is This Love, in my head, but it's not playing right now, but I can hear it. Your mind is so powerful. What do you want to believe? What do you want to know? You can see it right now. I think there's your mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. Your mind is so powerful, people. There's a song that says, close your eyes and see what you believe. And I'm going to add this to that, and then you will know. You can believe something into knowing. You can see it into belief, and you can believe it into knowing. Or you can just see it, and you can watch it, and you can watch yourself doing it. Everything is right here, everybody. I am healthy. I'm going to tell you this. I had the surgeon tell me that what he took out of my head was incurable. Well, I believe incurable means curable from within. And my oncologist said, it's not if it comes back, it's when it comes back. So my last visit with her was a week and a half ago. I had another MRI. And I was sitting there, and I do a whole lot of work to be calm because they take your blood pressure right there. And I seem to have white coat syndrome, so my blood pressure is always a little bit high when I go to the doctor's office. And she came in, and she says, "Oh, your MRIs look good. Your everything looks good." And I said, "I knew you were going to say that." And she looked at me kind of funny, and she said, "How did you know I was going to say that?" And I said, "I heard you say it before you said it." What do you want? Hear it in your mind. See it in your mind. Know it in your mind. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Chris Hull. This is the Negative Thought Survivor podcast. Thank you.